I bet you are the most critical person to you. I bet you put yourself last, but you put others first. I bet if you're watching a video like this, you know that within you, you have the potential for complete greatness. And you can probably even envision that with imagination. But for whatever reason, something happened to you, whether it be recently or a long time ago, that has made you believe that somehow you're not ready, or somehow you're not good enough, or somehow there is a reason why you can't move forward to become who you want to be. We have to cut ties with the parts of ourselves that are no longer in alignment with where we want to go. We have to start telling ourselves a different story. When we wake up, the things we start saying to ourselves in our mind, I bet you don't share any of that with anyone in your life. In this concept of shadow self and shadow work, what we are struggling to deal with right now plays itself out in the way we project onto others. And that might look like when you get into an argument with your spouse or with your partner, you tend to see the faults in him or her. And you're so sure that the issue is not you, the issue is your partner. And that's an indicator right there. This element of wanting to blame someone else for the issue, and they might actually be wrong. And if you've ever had any kind of argument with someone and you know for a fact that they're actually responsible for the problem, you're kind of hands off. You don't even want to conceive that you had something to do with this problem, and you have no ownership whatsoever. When you feel the need to just let go of whatever blame you're casting or whatever reason you're attributing to your spouse, trust me, I've been there many times. Shadow work tells us that there is a very high chance that that is a part of ourselves that we are rejecting. So our ego, the part of our personality that is sort of like the main or the core part of who we are, it tries to find ways to protect us from things which are hurtful, painful, difficult to deal with by rejecting things and projecting, which means that the parts within ourselves, we tend to see in other people more easily than we can ever see in ourselves. And so in a sense, we are somewhat unconscious that this is happening. And you might have many different parts of yourself that might be unconscious, And I've started in my relationship with my husband. Many times he is the wrong one, but he's not 100% in that alone. It does take two hands to clap. And it could be that I didn't communicate my needs, or I didn't communicate something very clearly. I was misunderstood. And shadow work is basically telling you to be mindful of the parts of yourself that are hidden, that may not be present, you may not be aware of it, and how that is playing out in your life. My main message here is sit quietly and identify the areas in your life that screams for growth, is seeking growth, and those areas might be causing a lot of conflicts or dissatisfaction in your life. The moment you start to think about them, and you might even just say, you know what, I don't really understand why I feel X, why I feel so doubtful, why I feel so lacking confidence, lacking self-esteem. Why don't I believe in myself more? Whatever, these are normal thoughts that I have, or I used to have. I don't really have them anymore because I've trained my mind to think in a different way. I want you to really embrace this idea that we can train our minds. We can identify things within ourselves that have been stacked on since we were kids, so that we believe them as true. And when we start stripping away all of the false beliefs that we have about ourselves, about where we're going, about our life, we can really step into our freedom. The freedom to be ourselves, our true unapologetic selves, and to take steps in the direction of what feels good, what is nourishing for you. Move towards people that are good for you, And in doing all of those things, you're actually moving away from the people, from the environments, from, expectations of you that don't match or align with who you really are. So my friends, thank you so much for watching. I really hope on your journey of personal growth and becoming the best of who you are, you set the intention to observe, to recognize, and to take action of anything that is in your way within yourself and be able to work through that so that you can let it go. We have to cut ties with the parts of ourselves that no longer serve us.